Hello po sa inyo. Welcome po sa classroom ni Sir O. Thank you nga pala sa mga bago kong subscribers sa channel ko at sa mga dati ko pong subscriber na patuloy na sumusuporta sa akin. Thank you. And for my online friends, stay connected po. Ang ituturo ko nga pala ngayon ay kung paano natin gawa ng paraan o kasagutan ang numbers 41 to 45 ng 2019 Metrobank Math Challenge Elimination Round for grade. Sir O, kanina ka pa dada ng dada. Ako naman, pagbigyan mo naman ako. At kung bago lang po kayo sa channel ko, pag-click ng subscribe button at pag-hit ng notification bell upang ma-update po kayo sa mga susunod ko pang mga video. O, napagbigyan na kita ha. Thank you ka naman. Thank you. Maraming thank you. So, ano pang hinihintay natin? Tara na.
Problem number 41. Now, for us to solve this problem, we will illustrate first what has been given. So, HF is 3x, IE is 5x, and JD is 5x plus 12. Now, after illustrating, we will now analyze the figure. Now, if you notice here, HF and JH corresponds to each other. So, if HF is 3x, therefore, GH is also 3x. Now next, IE corresponds to JI. That is, 5x corresponds to JI. Now, if you notice, if IE is 5x, therefore, the distance from point G to point I is 5x. Now, since JH is already 3x, so 5x minus 3x, the distance from H to I is 2x. Now, next, since I is the midpoint of HJ, therefore, the distance from I to J is also 2x. Now, next, JD corresponds to GJ, therefore, which is GJ is equal to JD. Substituting now the values, we have GJ is 7x because we will add the distances from point G to point J, which is 3x plus 2x plus 2x is 7x. JD is 5x plus 12. Transposing 5x to the other side, that gives us 7x minus 5x is equal to 12. Simplifying further, we have 2x because 7x minus 2x is equal to 12. Dividing both sides by 2, x is equal to 6. Problem number 42. So to solve this problem, we will illustrate first what is given. So let's start. The diagonals of parallelogram ABCD meet at P. So that is, the diagonals intersect or meet at P. If PA is x squared and PC is x plus 6 and PD is 2x minus 1, we are asked the distance of PB. Now, applying our knowledge in the properties of parallelogram in terms of diagonals, PA is equal to PC. Substituting the values, we have PA is x squared and PC is x plus 6. Transposing the entire x plus 6 to the other side, that gives us x squared minus x minus 6 is equal to 0. Now, since this is quadratic trinomial, we can factor this out as x minus 3 times x plus 2 equals 0. Equating both to 0, we have x is equal to 3 and x is equal to negative 2. Now, if we use x negative 2 to substitute to the distance PD, that is, PD gives us negative 5. Now, since negative 5 is not a valid measure for distance, so we will not use x negative 2, but rather x is equal to 3. Now, substituting x is equal to 3 to the distance PD and replacing x by 3, we have 2 times 3 minus 1. Simplifying further, 2 times 3 is 6 minus 1 and 6 minus 1 is 5. That is the distance of PD. Now, since PD, or the distance from point P to point D, is equal to the distance from point P to point B, therefore, PB is also 5. Problem number 43. So in this problem, we are asked the perimeter of the rhombus. So we will illustrate first the given. The diagonals of a rhombus have lengths 10 and 14. So from this point going to this point is 10. Just divide it by 2 so that from this point going to the point here is 5 and the other one is 5. So as well as here, supposedly it's 14, but we divide them by 2. So that the distance from this point going to this point is 7, and from this point going to this point is also 7. Now, applying our knowledge on the properties of rhombus, especially in diagonals, it states that the diagonals of a rhombus are perpendicular to each other. So since they are perpendicular, so therefore they will form a right angle. Now, if you notice in this area, it forms a right triangle. So if this is the right angle, this will be our hypotenuse. Treat it as S, and that S is also the side or one of the side of the rhombus. So since this is a right triangle, to find S, we will use the Pythagorean theorem, which states that the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the square of its legs. And since the legs of the right triangle are 5 and 7, so that is why it's 5 squared plus 7 squared. Simplifying further, we have S squared is equal to 5 squared is 25 and 7 squared is 49, and adding them, that gives us S squared equals 24. And getting square root in both sides of the equation, we have square root of S squared is equal to the square root of 74. Eliminating the square root symbol and the exponent 2, that gives us S is equal to square root of 74. Now, since 74 is not a perfect square root, so we will leave it as S is equal to the square root of 74. Now, since this value is also the value of one of the side of the rhombus, and we are asked to find the perimeter, and the perimeter of rhombus is 4S, so we will just replace S by square root of 74, which gives us 4 square root of 74. Now, since we cannot multiply 4 and 74 because this is radicals and this is whole number, but we can combine them as P is equal to 4 square root of 74 units. Problem number 44. So we are asked to find the ratio of smaller to larger of their areas for the two similar triangles. Now, since it's given already that the perimeters is 16 and 18, so we have the ratio 16 is to 18. Now, since 16 and 18 is divisible by 2, so we can reduce this into lowest term. We have 8 is to 9. And we square them, both 8 and 9 for their areas. So we have 8 squared is to 9 squared. And that gives us 64 because 8 squared is 64 and 9 squared is 81. And 64 is to 81 is the ratio of the two similar triangles for their areas. Problem number 45. So in this problem, we are asked to find the area of the triangle. So to start, let us illustrate the given first. Of course, the right triangle has the lengths x minus 2, 2x, and 2x plus 2. So we cannot solve yet the area because the given are all expression and we don't know the value of x first. Okay, so to solve the value of x, since this is a right triangle, we will use the Pythagorean theorem. So substituting the value, we have the hypotenuse is 2x plus 2 square is equal to 2x raised to the power of 2 plus x minus 2 raised to the power of 2. Applying square of binomial here, 2x plus 2 squared, that gives us 4x squared plus 8x plus 4 is equal to 2x raised to the power of 2 is 4x squared plus, of course, and applying square of binomial for x minus 2 squared, that gives us x squared minus 4x plus 4. So we simplify 4x squared plus x squared. So we will copy first 4x squared plus 8x plus 4 is equal to 4x squared plus x squared is of course 5x squared. Copy negative 4x and positive 4. We will transpose the entire expression here to the other side, which gives us 5x squared minus 4x plus 4. 4x squared becomes negative 4x squared, and positive 8x becomes negative 8x, and positive 4 becomes negative 4 equals 0. So simplifying further, we have x squared because 5x squared minus 4x squared is x squared, and negative 4x and negative 8x is negative 12x, and 4 minus 4 is 0. So this is now equal to 0. Applying common monomial factor for x squared minus 12x equals 0, that gives us x times x minus 12, because x squared divided x is x, and 12x divided x is 12. Copy negative equals 0. Equate them both to 0. X minus 12 equals 0. Transpose negative 12. That is x is equal to 12. So we will not be using x is equal to 0 because 0 is not a valid measure for distance. So using x is equal to 12 in substituting the value for x, in x minus 2 that is 10, and in 2x that is 24. So to find the area of the triangle, we'll use the area is equal to 1/2 base times height. And that gives us area is equal to 24 times 10 all over 2. But since 24 and 2 is divisible by 2, 24 divided 2 is 12. And 2 divided by 2, of course, is 1. So that gives us an area of 120 because 12 times 10 is 120 square units.
Naipakita ko na po ang kasagutan ng numbers 41 to 45 ng 2019 Metrobank Math Challenge for Grade 9. Kung nagustuhan nyo po ang video ito, paki-thumbs up naman.
At paki-share na din, baka may nangangailangan ng video ito.
At kung hindi pa po kayo nakapag-subscribe, please subscribe po to my YouTube channel. Yan lang po muna ngayon. Paalam na po. Class dismissed.